Much of the 20th century in America revolved around the issue of civil rights, as individuals led the movement towards granting people of color an equal stand in society. Heroes such as Rosa Parks, Malcolm X, and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. motivated the people to fight for justice day after day. They tried to preach the idea that any citizen could make a difference by advocating for the truth. 9 ordinary teenagers proved this to be true when they decided to help integrate the schools of Little Rock, Arkansas, after the Supreme Court ruling of Brown versus the Board of Education.
Well, this is the first real test case of the Brown decision. I mean, Plessy v. Ferguson for years had legalized segregation in America. In 1954, the Supreme Court hands down Brown, and it reverses Plessy. It says that separate is inherently unequal, and it opens the door for desegregation of public schools, desegregation of public facilities, and legally, it's a huge case. The problem is, on the ground, it didn't really result in much. Most southern states ignored it. And so Little Rock, Arkansas, their public school system is one of the first school systems that tries to go along with the court order. Actually, there was a specific federal court order ordering them to desegregate. And when the order came through, you have these first students, these 9 students in Little Rock, these African American students that are going to go to the all-white school.
On the morning of September 4th, 1957, these 9 courageous students stood outside of Central High School, faced with hundreds of guards and the angry people of their town. Their constant struggles to get into the school failed. Even with the help of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, the town of Little Rock, Arkansas, didn't back down.
Now, the governor of Arkansas, Governor Faubus, was against this, and he actually ordered local authorities to stop the students from being admitted into the school. And this prompted President Eisenhower, whose record on race is kind of lukewarm. I mean, he wasn't a racist, but he kind of felt that this sort of change should take time, that you can't legislate or have the courts order people to desegregate like this. But he also, as president, was not going to allow a governor to defy a federal court order. And because of this, ultimately Eisenhower sends in the National Guard. He nationalizes the Arkansas National Guard and sends it in to assure that these students are allowed into school.
But entering the school was the easy part. Throughout the rest of the school year, the colored students of Central High School received countless threats and were bullied by the white students. Some quietly suffered through the harassments, while others tried to fight back. The rest of the 8 students completed the school year, and Ernest Green, the only senior amongst the 9 students, became the first African American to graduate from Central High School. Yet the school authorities did not stop fighting. They tried to find ways to stop further desegregation until September of 1958, when the Supreme Court ruled that Little Rock, Arkansas must continue the integration process.
Well, I mean, the response from some of these southern public schools was simply to close. And the white students went to private schools, and then the black black students were left with nowhere to go and nothing to do. It is a lost year, and it's a shame that their attitudes were so set in their way that they would go to that extreme to actually shut the school down to make sure that they didn't allow segregation of public schools like that.
When the schools reopened the following year, 2 of the 9 students returned to complete their senior year and graduate from Central High School. The integration of public schools was a victory to be celebrated, but this was just a small milestone in the continuous efforts of the civil rights movement.